Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Lillick here with the Success Vortex where positivity meets. And guys, tonight is a really, really special treat because we have a number of people here on our panel tonight. These are people that have already tapped into millionaire mentoring. Just so you know, if you're showing up here for the very, very first time, what we do is we actually show people step by step how they can go from wherever they currently are right now in their reality. Doesn't matter where you are at, right? Doesn't matter what income level that you're at right now on your career path. And we show you the exact step-by-step formula on how you can literally open up a gateway to a life of complete total freedom, okay? Now, here's what a lot of people don't understand, guys, okay? Because a lot of people talk about the words financial freedom, okay? But what does that really mean to you? I'm going to share with you that one of my mentors, T. Harv Eker, who wrote the book Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, he actually totally shifted my thought process of what does it really mean to be free? What does it really mean to have financial freedom? And people don't talk about this stuff, guys, okay? Because a lot of people don't even really know. This is financial freedom. When you're making more income each month than all of your bills. Okay, so imagine you've got your mortgage, your car, your gas, your insurance, your food, your travel, your entertainment, the cost for your kids, whatever those costs are, right? When your income coming in per month exceeds all of those bills, right, without you actually having to work, guys, that's called financially free, right? And a lot of people never actually figure that out, right? Now, here's what I'm going to share with you on tonight's broadcast. If you just figure that out, of what your life actually costs you per month, once you exceed that amount and that money is coming in month after month after month, whether you work or not, okay, that's called financial freedom. But my question to you is this. If that was to happen for you, where you had more money coming in every single month than all of your bills, okay, what would you be doing with your time? That's a really good question, guys. Because once you really get connected to that emotionally and you really project into the future of, okay, well, what if that was possible? What if you did have more money coming in every single month than all of your monthly expenses? What would you be doing with your time? Do you know? Right? It's a really good thing to start to focus on, guys. Because once you get connected to that, you're subconsciously, you're going right past that reality into the future, and something shifts internally inside your body. Okay, something changes internally inside your body where your body goes, and you can think differently. You can think clearer. Your whole reality shifts once you can lasso that future feeling into your body right now, okay? So what I would also share with you today, because we got guys tuning in from all over the world right now. We're broadcasting live right now on YouTube. And just so you know, guys, this is the power of the internet. And this is some of the stuff that we teach and train, because right now I'm live, right? But tomorrow I won't be live. But there'll still be people from all around the world watching this particular broadcast. So back to what I was talking about here. So our goal, okay, now here's the cool thing about this, is that you become part of a collective. So it's almost like, you know, you have your own independent business, right, as an entrepreneur, but you can leverage the power of a team. You can leverage the power of some really incredible stories. So what I want to do here, first of all, guys, is I want to reach out to our panel, and I want to showcase here a couple of stories, a couple of complete, total breakthrough stories of people that have had a vision, they've had a dream. They may not even have had a university education or a degree, but they got connected to their dream. They got emotionally connected to their dream. They went through the training. They went through Millionaire Mentoring. They learned these simple steps. Very simple formula that anybody can do, guys. Okay, I'll share this with you. Complete vulnerability here, okay? When I first got started online, I'm not a technical person, like zero technical skills, guys, and this is totally true. When I looked at the Facebook interface, I started having anxiety, okay? And I'm not talking a little tiny bit of anxiety. I'm talking massive anxiety. I'm talking cold sweats. I'm talking sleepless nights where I couldn't sleep at night because I knew that the internet was my gateway. I knew that if I could learn how to leverage the internet, that I could start making money while I was sleeping, right? I could start making money while I was working on other projects. I could start making money while I was hanging out with my son. And that was my vision. Okay, now I came from corporate America. I came from, sort of starting at the bottom, working my way all the way up to the very top, to the point where I started off as a graphic designer. And I worked my way all the way up to the top of becoming vice president of marketing for a public company. Here's the interesting thing that happened. What I thought in my mind was that once I achieved $100,000 a year, that I would be free, right? It didn't quite work out that way, guys, okay? What happened was that the workload, the stress load that came onto me for that price tag, I was working literally 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, sometimes all-nighters. That means that I was working all the way through the whole night and then going to work the following day and working into the next day, writing press releases, doing the marketing campaign for the public company, raising the money. And it literally became this stressful burden on top of me. Now, two of my best friends, guys, best friends, I'm talking like my soul brothers, okay? They both died. They died under 50 years old, and they both died from a heart attack, okay? Now, I have a son that's now 16 years old, and I knew that if I did not figure a way how to get out of that model, that there's a potential that I could have potentially died as well. And I knew that it was life or death. It was literally life or death. And I'm not saying that jokingly. Like, it was literally life or death. Like, I'm either going to figure out a way how to get out of this, or my son might not have a dad, right? So there was a very big sense of urgency for me to try to figure this stuff out, right? But I can tell you that as a non-technical person, I had to get through a little bit of this, right? My mental blocker, because I didn't believe that I could even do it. I don't know how to type, okay? I never took typing in school, and I'm looking at this computer, this keyboard thing, and going like, oh my God, how am I ever going to be able to do this, right? So I started typing with two fingers, okay? I still don't know how to type, guys. I'm going to just preface this. I still don't know how to type. 2 fingers, chicken pecker typer, but I didn't give up. I just kept on going and going, just like an ever-ready battery. I kept on going and going and going. And the whole concept of, this was my breaking point, was I got up one day, I had done an all-nighter, I didn't even hear my alarm clock go off, guys. Okay, that's how tired I was. That's how exhausted my body was, physically run down. The alarm clock was going off for a couple of minutes before I even heard it, okay? I hit the snooze button, I hit the snooze button again, I hit the snooze button again, I peeled myself up out of bed, I got into the shower, I literally was in the shower for like 15 or 20 minutes with the hot water coming down. I dry myself off. As I come into my bedroom, I stub my toe on the corner of the bed so hard that I thought that I broke my toe. Okay, now I don't know if you've ever stubbed your toe that hard, but I thought I broke my toe. So I'm hobbling down, I get dressed, I'm hobbling down into my car, It's snowing out. I go straight to get a coffee. I go through a drive-through. As I'm bringing my coffee in, it hits the corner of the window and poof, coffee all over me, okay? I get to my job. The parkade is locked because the power went out. I got to park on the street. I end up getting a ticket at the end of the day. As I'm coming out, I'm looking at the ticket. I step onto the pavement and I'm right into like a 4-inch slush puddle, right? Totally ruined my leather shoes and like drenched my socks, and my phone rings, and it's a friend of mine. He says, Darren, how's it going? I said, oh, right, I had the worst day of my life. He goes, oh, wow, man, I had the best month I've ever had. And I said, really, what happened? He said, I made $75,000 this month. I was like, oh my God, what did you do? I thought maybe you sold some real estate, you know, maybe you did some new project. He says, it gets better, Darren. I did it all while I was away on vacation. And it was like somebody took an arrow and just went pew, pew, right through me. And that was my breaking point, guys. I knew that I had to figure it out. I knew I had to figure out a way, because I was literally slaving away as vice president of this company for peanuts. And here's my buddy away on vacation who just had a $75,000 month. Now, I can tell you this. That seemed like the Mount Everest for that to ever happen, right? But once you learn how to leverage the power of the internet, I can tell you it starts happening for people from all walks of life. So what I want to do here really quickly is I want to reach out to a couple people, and then we're going to go live. Esteban, how are you, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Esteban, maybe just you know, share with the people here. I know that you're from is it Colombia?
Colombia, yes, sure.
Okay, so you're from Colombia. I know that prior to going through Millionaire Mentoring, prior to getting on this path, give us first of all an idea, Esteban. What is the average monthly salary for a person that is in Colombia?
$200.
$200 per month.
That's the basic. Yeah, that's what like a person gets a job, gets like yep, $200, right? That's it. Like if he's young, and maybe if he's lucky and stuff, he gets like $700 maybe.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Esteban. Prior to going through learning this training, prior to going through Millionaire Mentoring, did you ever even believe that it could be possible for you to be able to manifest like what, almost $5,000 in a single day? Did you ever believe that you would be able to bring into your reality almost 2 years of salary in one day, in 12 hours? Did you ever believe something like that could possibly happen?
Well, it was a good lesson to learn. It was I did it like in minutes, you know, and it was the best lesson you gave me. Like just don't manifest that into your reality. Just focus on this and go there and just do it. And I did it. It was a really good lesson, because before that I didn't believe it, and
Wow.
and now I believe it. I had this scarcity mindset, you know, before, and it's because I always was. I thought before my thinking was that it was about how much money I had, and not my ability to manifest money. It's totally different, you know.
Fantastic. Guys, I want to reach out here quickly over to Chad Turner. Guys, Chad started off as a waiter. You know, he was maybe making about $2,100 per month. He got plugged into Millionaire Mentoring. It took him 3 weeks to have his first $3,000 day. And Chad, maybe you can just share with the people here on the panel and to the audience what has happened in your life path since you've got involved in Millionaire Mentoring and learned how to use the power of the internet to create money while you sleep.
Yo, what's up, Darren? Man, it's just been unbelievable. Like this year, starting out, just waking up to sales. Yeah, I mean, it's just been life changing for sure.
So Chad, I mean, give us an idea. It took you 3 weeks to have your first $3,000 day. How many $3,000 days have you had so far since you've been on this path? And what's been the best week that you've ever had so far?
So far to date, I've had actually 8 $3,000 days. I've actually helped, you were speaking about being a chicken pecker typer. I've actually helped my dad, who didn't even have an email address, to have a $3,000 day online. And yeah, it's just been awesome.
And what's the best week so far that you've had on this path, Chad?
Best week, $10,000 week.
A $10,000 week. Now, guys, I'm going to just sort of put an income disclaimer here, and I'm going to say that results aren't typical. I mean, these people are people that are emotionally connected to their dream. Okay, these are people that don't have any excuses. They are willing to do whatever it takes, and they actually show up for Millionaire Mentoring. Okay, we do Millionaire Mentoring on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I can tell you that if you just show up, okay, your life as you know it will never ever be the same. And I'm going to share with you the exact formula that I used to go from zero to over $100,000 cash in less than 7 months. Okay, so we're going to be sharing that on tonight's call. Daniela, can you unmute for a sec?
Yeah.
So Daniela, maybe you can share with us, you've been involved in Millionaire Mentoring for a short period of time, maybe 90 days or so. Already so far, what is the best day online that you've already had?
The best day that I've had so far has been an $800 day.
An $800 day. Now, prior to learning how to use the power of the internet, how would that equate to what you were doing before per month? What was it that you were doing prior to this?
So before, when I was working full time, I was probably bringing about maybe $5,200 a month. So to go into a situation where I'm now able to make that in a quarter of the time or less, I mean, $800 in a day is fantastic. It is almost one whole week's worth of work for me. So it makes a great difference. It's amazing.
Fantastic, awesome. Helen, can you unmute? Helen, you there? Okay, Helen, your mic's not working, unfortunately. Okay, guys, so we're gonna go live here, and I'm going to. I would recommend that you get a pen and paper. You take notes. I'm going to take you right behind the scenes, and I'm going to share with you the exact formula that I used in order to go from zero to just over $100,000 in less than 7 months. Okay. So welcome to the Success Vortex. This truly, guys, this is where positivity meets. So much about your success is going to be in your mind. I will share that with you. What is the Success Vortex, and what do we actually do? Well, the Success Vortex, we empower entrepreneurs to step into their personal power and to transform every single area of their life. And I'm not kidding, guys. I'm talking health and fitness, spiritual, emotional, family relationships, career, travel, financial goals, material things, and contribution, giving back, and making a difference. We also teach entrepreneurs how to add $100,000 plus to their annual residual income working with us on a part-time basis. Now, this is me right here. My name is Darren Little. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, also known online as the MLM Superhero. That right there is my son, Drayson. He's currently 16 years old, goes to school in San Diego. And tonight I'm going to share with you a little bit about automation mastery. How do you actually build a business while having a life? Now, guys, keep in mind, most people work a 9-to-5 job. They start off on a very casual part-time basis with us. And once their income starts to duplicate their income that they're making it their job. They can make the decision if they want to leave their job and go full-time after that. That's great, okay? Now, this is me right here. That's my brand, the MLM Superhero. We do teach you how you can become the brand, how you can actually use your personal story from where you came from to create a brand, to create value to the marketplace so that your phone starts ringing off the hook with incoming calls, guys. So we don't teach you to go out and harass your friends and family. We teach you how to become a professional online marketer. So if you stick around to the end of this presentation, guys, I'm going to give you a $197 free bonus. Now, this is just for showing up. I believe that 80% of success is all about showing up. You don't have to pull out your credit card for this. This is a free bonus that I'm going to give you today, and it's a training manual that I wrote called MLM Affiliate Magic, and it will literally fast track you by 3 to 5 years in this industry. So the first thing I want to do is I want to sort of set the stage here for you to realize that this is the whole industry, guys, okay? This is what the statistics actually are. 0.1% earn more than $400 a month. Now, you probably see on there a lot of companies that you may even be familiar with. You know, even Amway, you know, New Skin, Relive, Primerica, Visalis, Melaleuca, ACN, Organo. You know, these are companies and products that you're probably familiar with. And out of the entire industry, guys, 0.1% earn more than $400 a month. Now, I can tell you this. I'm going to show you today how to break the mold there. I'm going to show you today how to crack that so that you can literally blast past that and make more money than you ever imagined possible, okay? Now, here's where it starts. 95% is going to be in your mind, okay? 95%. And what you believe to be true for you. Now, this is coming from, not from a textbook, guys. I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I've raised tens of millions of dollars for my own companies, public companies, private companies, my own products, my own rollouts. So I can tell you this is 100% true. Whatever you believe to be true will be true for you in your business. Now, this is how I do it. It's all based upon mastering 3 things, okay? Mastering your thoughts, right? What's going on in your head, mastering your words, what you speak into the reality, and mastering your emotions, okay? Now, this is actually the secret to create whatever you want in your life. It's called the equation for manifestation. It's thought-directed emotion that generates feeling, okay? Now, listen to me again. Thought-directed emotion that generates feeling. Now, if you can master those 3 things, you will master your bank account. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about the equation for manifestation. The good news, guys, is it works for everything that you want. The bad news is it works for everything that you don't want. There's these 2 worlds. They exist simultaneously. They're parallel worlds, and whatever you are emotionally connected to, the physiological broadcast that's coming out of your body is going to determine which one of those realities that you live in. Now, this is how I do this, guys. It's all based upon these 2 words. What if? Now, I could say, well, what if I go bankrupt? I could say that. I could say, what if everybody that I talk to rejects me? I could say that. I could say, what if I lose all my money? I could say that. But that's not what I say. That's not what the successful people do. I focus on the reality that I want. Okay, so here's how this works. As I start to talk about these things, my body is going to start to get emotionally connected to this reality. What if everyone I talk to wanted to join my business? What if my phone was ringing off the hook with incoming calls? What if leaders were calling me from all 4 corners of the world? What if I could recruit new reps in minutes? What if money was flowing to me in avalanches of abundance? What if I could create a $10,000 monthly residual income in 90 days? Right? Now, if that was my reality, what would it feel like? Okay, that's the key, guys. That's what you've got to understand about this, about successful business people and what the successful people know. Your body, your physiology in your body is what is steering your ship to either be off track or on track. So it's very important that you learn the equation for manifestation and you start to implement that strategy into your reality. Now, how do you become the attractor factor? How do you get your phone ringing with incoming phone calls? How do you get people messaging you on Facebook and social media and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram and commenting on your YouTube videos, commenting on your blogs? How do you become that magnet? 3 easy steps. Here they are. The first thing that you're going to do, let's say that today is your very first day. Okay, you've never ever done anything like this before. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to learn something. Okay? Now, after you learn it, you want to actually be taking notes like you're a teacher, because you're going to share what you've just learned, so that it's now your voice that's sharing that particular type of strategy. Right? Now you're going to implement the strategy for 4 or 5 days, and you're going to generate a little tiny bit of results. Okay? Now they don't have to be huge, guys. Okay? I will share with you this, that one of my students right now, Seb Brantigan, his story today was that he had a 59% of the people that he sent to a lead capture page opted in. Okay? That's a story, right? He had a 2 people enrolled into his business and bought the blog. 1 person upgraded and bought the Inner Circle Mindset training. And he advanced in a leadership rank today. That is a story, guys, right? So he could now explain to people how he did that. What did he learn? What did he implement? And then he's now going to share his results. Now, the story that I'm about to share with you about how I went from 0 to over 100 grand in less than 7 months, my very first story, guys, was me in an Oriental restaurant. I was told it was about 2:30 in the afternoon. I went across the street. I ordered beef and broccoli. I'm sipping on some Chinese tea. My phone starts going off like a Las Vegas slot machine, and I thought somebody was texting me. I didn't realize it was my automated system sending me commission notifications. So during that lunch, I made $75. Okay? Now that doesn't seem like a lot of money, but I did it automated. That's what you got to understand. I did it without me. So during the time I had lunch, I made 75 bucks. That one story generated me 18 new inquiries from prospects. Okay, so don't think that you have to have some ginormous income story in order to become a successful marketer. It's what do you do with this story that's the important part. Now, this is what I call Boomerang sponsoring, and it gives you a visual of what marketing actually is. So the big circle in the center is like a menu of marketing strategies. Okay. Now, what's the goal? The goal is you want to get qualified buyers to a lead capture page, right? Now, with that lead capture page, you're typically offering something of value, something that's solving people's problems, right? Whether it's a money problem, whether it's a lead generation problem, whether it's closing and upselling, whether it's team duplication, whatever the strategy is, right? You're going to give away something for free, and then they're going to watch a presentation where there's a low entry ticket item. Now, what do I mean by that? It's typically between $7 and about 65 bucks, okay? Now, after they purchase, there's going to be upselling to higher ticket items. There's going to be a follow-up campaign with an autoresponder that's now still going to upsell them to higher ticket items. And the autoresponder keeps on following up without you, guys. That's the key. Your autoresponder is going to build a relationship with that person over time and build some trust, right? You're going to continue to offer value, which you're going to get from Millionaire Mentoring, right? And those people are going to enroll, and they're going to do the exact same thing like this. Okay, so that gives you a visual. So here's another visual. Now, a lot of people will maybe pour oil into a car, or they'll put this funnel into a maybe lawnmower and they're pour gasoline into it. This is the same type of concept. So you start off with your lead capture page, then you go into, you know, lower ticket item that typically will turn into a monthly membership fee. That's going to sort of create your foundation. That handles all of your marketing costs, your advertising, your auto ship costs, all the things like that typically get handled by those monthly recurring revenues that you have coming in. Then there's going to be mindset training. That's also a monthly revenue that starts coming in for you. And then you're going to have a number of training products. Now, this right here, guys, is literally like somebody getting their university degree, okay? Now, typically when people get started in any type of business, in a career, I don't care if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, an accountant, a massage therapist, you know, somebody that is really in any type of higher paying profession, there's typically either schooling, training, or certification. Even if you have to go drive a truck or a forklift, you have to go through a certification process and write an exam to complete that, right? The cool thing here is you don't have to write an exam, okay? But a lot of people want to bypass their sort of university education and have money start raining from the sky, right? It's just not realistic. So we have a number of training products, okay? It's $19.95 to be an affiliate. $216.95 gives you your blog and your mindset training. And then there's 3 major training products. How do you become a top producer? What do you do? Okay, that's a $500 product. It's a one-time purchase. And it teaches you how do you actually make sales? How do you actually go get new affiliates, right, that you can partner with? Now, once you have those affiliates, what do you do with them? Right? How do you motivate, inspire, and lift people up into leadership? That's a product called the Team Building Formula. That's a one-time product purchase. It's a $1,000 training, right? And then, well, what happens after that? Most people, they want to start to go into a much larger level. How do you have mass influence on people? How do you develop your own products so that you're the person that's speaking about the training and the products and things like that? That's a $3,500 one-time product purchase, right? Now, here's the cool thing. With this company, you can make between 30% and 70% commissions. So when somebody says that they want to make $25,000 a month, right, which is sort of what I was projecting, that only is 8 sales, right? 8 sales of people that are actually going through all of those training products in order to make that type of an income. So it can happen very, very quickly, right? Now I'm going to focus here, right here, right? $17.50 to $3,000 commissions per sale, okay? And this area right here is sort of that foundational part of your business. This is your monthly sort of, ad costs, revenue costs. It's your cash flow, right? So the bigger ticket items, obviously, they may not happen every single day, but once you build your team and you have that foundational part there, that becomes your foundation, almost like building a house. So let's say, as an example, 100 grand a year is $8,333. Okay, now if somebody had, say, the blog and the Inner Circle Mindset training, they would be making $87.50 per month per person, right? That's monthly revenue that you've got coming in. So with 102 transactions, guys, you're making $100,000 a year. Okay, now I can tell you this. Myself personally, when I got started, I did 55 my first month, okay, in 30 days. So it's very, very possible, even if you were just a part-timer, that to get to $100,000, a person can do that, you know, if they're focused, you know, in a few years, very easily. But if you show up for Millionaire Mentoring, now if I told you that within a 2-year period of time, you could walk away from your job with $100,000 a year income, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to show up for Millionaire Mentoring? I think so, and I'm going to show you what happened for me. So one of the first things that I did, guys, is I made what's called a custom lead capture page. So I wanted to set myself apart from everybody else in the company. This number here that's 174 is now almost $500,000. So it said, you're about to discover the simple system I use to make $174,816.73 from my laptop. Just enter your email below and see this fun and powerful system. Person puts in their email, they click on step 2, and it takes them to an automated presentation. Now, what you got to understand about the power of the internet is once you have a number of things out there, they become like fishnet, and they lasso those people and bring them to a page like this, and now the automated presentation is going to be like a cloned version of you that's presenting for you, even though it's not necessarily you. Right? We provide you with all of those turnkey tools so that it becomes very, very easy. Somebody might say, well, Darren, I'm not good on video. You don't have to be. We provide you with all of those videos with the system. Now, I want to give you a visual here, guys, of what it means to do what's called breaking inertia. People don't show this type of stuff, and I want for you guys to understand that, you know, I'm totally transparent with all of my marketing. I take people right behind the scenes so that they can really get an idea of what they need to do. And I'll tell you what I did. So it looks like on June 10th, that week, I was doing between 25 and on average, okay, if I went really aggressively, I might have had 75 connections in a day where I said, hey Tom, how's it going? How's your day going so far? That would be one, right? But at my baseline was 25, okay, 25 in a day. Now it would look like on week 1, it doesn't look like there's much going on, right? Even week 2, like you think, oh man, is this really worth it? And there's these two realities, right? Oh, this doesn't work. I knew this was a ripoff, right? Okay, but I understand breaking inertia, right? So look what happened by my 3rd week, right? It cleared $1,000. But look how it created a snowball effect. Okay, so the next week was about what, 1,600. Following week was about 2,400. Then it went up to over 2,700, and then it went up to about 4,600. Okay, now the total was $12,361.85. Now, guys, those are not one-time purchases. Okay, that is monthly residual income. Now, here's the question I ask you. If that happened to you, where you were, you know, literally busting your butt for 2 weeks, and it didn't look like there was anything happening at all, would you trust the process? That's the question. Would you keep on following the process, following the training, speaking your reality into existence, and project forward into make that type of income? Or after even the first week, would you already feel disheartened? And then the second week comes, would you already start to manifest it not working? Okay, because you might be frustrated. Oh, I don't know, this doesn't work for me, right? So you can actually manifest what you don't want. But I want to give you this visual so that you can actually see it, right? Because you can actually see the snowball, right? See how it snowballed to $12,361.85. Now, we have the 3 training products. I call those the profit maximizers. I've already done the test marketing, guys. This is what has been, it's actually more than that now. It's probably closer to about 240,000. But this gives you an idea of what's possible. Now, I will put out an income disclaimer, and I will tell you that I don't even know if you're emotionally connected to your dream. I don't even know if you'll show up for Millionaire Mentoring. But I can tell you that I've gone out and sort of taken a hit for the team, and I've done all that work and tested everything already, and I can tell you that we have the ability right now in 2016 to completely, totally transform your life, your family's life, and put you onto a path of freedom like you never, ever possibly imagined. Right? We've already created 15 verified millionaires, and we're literally just getting started, guys. Okay? So people say, Darren, you know, do you believe that this is a good opportunity? Guys, if there was a better business opportunity, you can be rest assured that I would be in it myself personally. Okay, I've already made millions of dollars, and if I can't see the ability to be able to take on a project and make $1 million a month, then I don't even, why bother, right? So I can tell you that this right here is what I call test marketing, and now we're getting ready to turn up the heat. So there's never been a better time to get involved. So here we go. This is what happened in my first 57 days of action. Now here, you see the one word there, guys. It says action, okay? It generated $24,000, $348 cash, and then a $3,031.70 residual, okay? Now keep in mind, I do multiple different affiliate programs. This training will teach you how to become a top marketer in anything, right? So it's not just about the training, guys. Once you learn this, you can market any affiliate product, any network marketing company, any direct sales opportunity, anything that's marketed on the internet, okay, once you get through this training. It's almost like, you know, getting your certification if you're a forklift operator, or getting your nursing degree. Same type of concept. That was 57 days from a complete flat start. Now what starts to happen after that? Well, this was in my third month. Okay, I had $12,344.90 a week, and it gets even better. Look at this. This was the 2014. That was Boxing Day. Imagine just finishing Christmas and having almost a $4,000 day when you wake up. Can you imagine what that would be like for you if that happened for you? Almost a $4,000 day right after Christmas. Now, what I teach my students is setting your intention, and when I started, I set my intention that I would get my way into the top 10 of the company. Now, keep in mind, there's already been people that have made over $1 million, but I set it in my mind that I would be in the top 10. So it took me 58 days to get to the number 6 spot. Now, I'm not going to kid you guys. I busted my butt, right? But I set that intention, and it manifested into reality. It took 58 days to be able to do that. So here's the exact formula on how I created a 6-figure yearly income in a 30-day period of time. That means I made more than $8,333 my very first month. Okay, that's a 6-figure yearly income. So the first thing that I needed was something to be able to sell that would pay me high commissions. Right? Now think about that. If I'm going to make 100 grand, and I don't need a lot of sales to make 100 grand, that makes sense to me, right? Versus coming from a network marketing business model, I had a team of over 6,000 people, and my monthly residual income never got over 4 grand a month. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I don't do MLM anymore, because you literally need a small country to be able to make the type of money that I want to make, right? And there's much easier, simpler ways to be able to make a full-time income with way less effort. So it needed to be affordable for the masses. What do I mean by that? It has to have a low entry price, okay? Now, I say here 25 to under 60. Why do I say that? I call that under the radar, right? That means it's not going to cause a divorce. It's not going to cause an argument between a husband and wife. It's not a second mortgage on a home. It's something that gives value, and it gets them to pull out the credit card, right? That's step one. Okay, so people needed to be able to become profitable in 30 days. Now, notice the 2 words there. It says massive action. Now, I consider if you do 25 connections in any given day, on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, for 3 weeks, that's what it takes to break inertia, guys. Okay, now, like I said, some days I did more, but 25 a day was my baseline, and if you do that, and you plug in a weekly millionaire mentoring, you will break inertia, right? Okay, what's next? I wanted to make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort in the shortest time possible, okay? And in order to do that, I needed what are called upsells to higher ticket items. So if somebody came in at a low one and they upgraded to the inner circle mindset, and then they upgraded to the top producer, and they upgraded to the team builder, and then they upgraded to mass influence. I needed those steps, right, in order to be able to make the money as fast as possible. The corporate videos needed to convert on their own. This is critical. If you are with a company or selling products and you cannot have somebody watch your corporate video and have them want to buy your product, you are with the wrong company, guys. Because you can be the best salesperson in the world, you might be able to sell ice cubes to Eskimos, but if the videos don't do it on their own, the rest of your team is stuck, okay? So the corporate videos needed to convert on their own, and there needed to be marketing training provided that would help people to learn new skills. Now, my forte is Facebook. I like doing Facebook. I do a bunch of emails to my list, right? And I do these, which are Google Hangouts. Those are kind of the ones that I've picked. Now, you got a whole menu. Somebody say, well, Darren, I really love video. I want to do video. Somebody might say, well, you know what? I want to do, blogging. Somebody might say, Darren, I love Pinterest. I love Instagram. Just pick one. Just one, guys, okay? Pick one, get good at it, master it, and that becomes your special sauce that you can use as your recruiting. That's what you use to bring people in so that they can get access to the thing that you've mastered. Now, here's an example, guys. This is me taking people right behind the scenes and sharing with them my live results. Okay, now I had just started paid traffic. This is like the very beginning of the time where I first started into paid traffic. I spent $560 in traffic. It generated 228 leads, 23 sales, 14 new team members, and it generated a total revenue of $583. Now, it kept on going, and it went up to about 700. But I took all that money, guys, okay, all of it, and I put it back in, and I bought more traffic. By the time I bought the second round, I had my first $3,000 day, and then I took half of it, and I bought more traffic. So I started to build up my list, right? See, here it says 228 leads. Well, my list is now probably about 18,000, right? So I just scaled it up over time, right? So this was called piggyback marketing. I piggybacked off of the Flintstones, with this Yabba Dabba Doo campaign, which is another thing that I teach in Millionaire Mentoring. So I continue to reinvest the money back into the business, and voila, it's generated just under $500,000 so far. So here are the exact steps that I took. I got what's called a Kalatu blog. Now, why is that so important? People, the majority of people that get into online marketing have never ever done it before, and they need something that's quick, easy, and that anybody can do, even a grandma, even a 5-year-old kid, right? So the Kalatu blog is a WordPress platform that's been set up with all of the plugins, right, to make it functional so that you can start to get SEO ranking. So the Kalatu blog, and I got what's called an autoresponder. That means that once I load my autoresponder and you opt into my list, you're going to get emails sent to you that I'm not sitting by my computer sending out the email. The autoresponder is setting them out automatically. The next thing that I did is I set myself up to make $1 million plus, okay? So it's way easier for me to make $1 million by doing 333 all-in sales versus like 50,000 blog sales. I wanted to get there as fast as I could, right? So I went all in, I bought those core training products, and that opened up the gateway so I could start having $3,000 days, okay? Now, it took me 3 weeks to have my first $3,000 day. Now, once again, income disclaimer, I busted my butt, guys, okay? I made $10,000 my first month, 25 grand by month 3, and in under 7 months, it generated over $100,000, okay? This is what I did. Then I purchased some paid traffic, which are qualified buyers, right? There's one of my traffic sources there, mysuperherotraffic.com, and I reported my results on social media. Okay, so I created a story around me having beef and broccoli. I created a story around how I was, with my parents in Maui golfing, and I had a $1,000 day. Or I had a story about how I was hanging out with my son and I went to this Lion King, and I don't know, it was like a $4,000 day during the Lion King, right? So it's all about the stories, guys. The stories are what sell, okay? So I became good at writing stories showcasing my results on social media. And then I continued to email my list, showcasing my results, and then providing more value, like bringing people together to show them actually what I did, like this, right? Real pretty simple. And then I show other people how I do that in order to duplicate these type of results. That's how you see Chad Turner, 8 $3,000 days now, had a $10,000 week. Helen Liao hit number 5 for the most amount of leads generated in a day. Michelle Grote hit number 9 on the leaderboards for the most amount of recruits in a day. So once you get plugged into Millionaire Mentoring and you follow this formula, right? You don't try and reinvent the wheel. Don't say, oh, that was great, Darren, but I got a better strategy, right? Don't do that. Just follow the formula, guys. I'm telling you, your life will completely transform. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't know anybody. You don't have to know anybody. That's the power of the internet, right? That's the power of social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, right? That's the power of doing these solo ads, which is like piggybacking off of somebody else's list, right, to generate leads. And that's one of my lead sources there, mysuperherotraffic.com. So that's me, guys. Darren Little, also known online as the MLM Superhero, and I want to make sure you get this free gift here, okay? So this will literally fast track you by 3 to 5 years. Go to darrenlittle.com/MLM Magic, right? You can get your copy of that. It goes directly to that link. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm actually going to log into my back office, and I'm going to show you guys what's actually possible, okay? And I want to give you, just sort of paint the picture here of these products. This section right here, right, is your Kalatu blog, and I'm going to actually log on to show you my blog so that you can get an idea, so that you can more clear understand the business model. So the Kalatu blog is like your central hub, okay? That's where you're going to provide all your value from, right, that you're going to solve people's problems. The inner circle is going to tap you into the right mindset to become a 7-figure income earner. And these right here are our 3 training products, okay? The Top Producer Formula teaches you how to become a top producer. How do you make sales, right? How do you actually do this with affiliate marketing and networking and direct sales, right? That's a $500 one-time product. Now keep in mind, at 30 to 70%, those add up fast, guys. Let me tell you, when you start popping 150 to 350 per transaction, it does not take a lot to be able to get to a full-time income. The team building formula, once you have those people, what do you do with them? How do you motivate them? How do you create culture amongst people, right? How do you lift them up into leadership? Now that product, guys, pays between $300 and $700 per transaction, right? Now, mass influence formula. Once you go through mass influence formula, guys, I can tell you you're pretty much ready to create your own products. Okay, and I've created 3 so far myself. Subconscious mind tapping, 10x Unstoppable Minds, and speed recruiting. And I'm working on my 4th product now. So this is literally like you getting your online university degree. Okay, now keep in mind, when you have these core products, that's when you can start popping $3,000 days, guys. And that's I'm telling you, you have one $3,000 day, your life will change forever. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to show you what's so cool about this, because this is almost like, in a way, it's kind of like a video game, you know? The first thing that you want to do is you want to become boss. Okay, 5 sales of anything, cha-ching, you're a boss, right? It increases your sales from 30 to 35%. Now, when you help anybody on your team do what you just did, cha-ching, you make another 5%. Now, you're a boss maker. Now, when you work with these people, from the training that you've got in the team building formula, it starts to propel you up to become a bronze. Now, keep in mind, if somebody's just coming in, you're making a 10% override on all those new sales coming in. Cha-ching, now you've got a 15% override. Right? Now, As you work with those people, once again, the team building formula, you get up to the $5,000 mark. Cha-ching! Now you make another 5%, 5, 10, 15, 20% override on all those new sales. Now, once you help somebody become a boss, right? Now you're boss maker, and you do a silver, now you're a boss maker silver. Cha-ching! Now you get another 5%. Now, guys, I'm telling you that this starts adding up really super fast, okay? Now, this is where the big money is in the program, okay? Because you start getting access to these bonuses here. These are called uniline bonuses. The moment that you take action, the moment that you throw your hat over the wall and say, you know what? I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do this. Every single person is going in your business, guys. Hear what I'm saying. Every single person in the company is being put underneath you in one long uniline, okay? And when you get to these higher levels of the company, you start to participate in the entire company's sales, guys. And this is where it gets really exciting. Now, keep in mind, once this hits 10,000, I'm now accessing between $2,231 and $4,143 in additional leadership bonuses. Once I hit the $20,000 mark, I'm now accessing another $2,231 to $441.43 in another bonus. And when I hit 30,000, between 3,346 and 6,214. Now, hear what I'm saying again, guys. Once you get into the company, once you actually get slotted into you get positioned into the company, there's 5 unilines that everybody in the company is coming in your business, and that is where real rubber hits the road. Okay, a lot of people get in a company, and because they're not actually making any sales, they're like, oh, right, what would it be like? Imagine this. The moment that you click that link below, okay, right now, I'm telling you this right now, there's people enrolling right now that could have gone in your business. How about that, right? How about that? Those people right now, they're all around the world, they're watching right now as we speak, they're tuning in right now, they're clicking that link below. The moment that they get locked in, every single other person company-wide is going underneath their business. Right? And then when you get to those higher levels of the plan, you're going to have an opportunity to start cashing those checks, right? And it gets really exciting, okay? So I want to just reach out here quickly before we close. Jonathan, can you unmute, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Jonathan, you know, you have a really kind of cool story because, you know, you were on a path. I think somebody for like an anniversary present or something bought you a Millionaire Mentoring session with me. We spent about an hour and a half together. Share with the people here what has happened in your business since that day onwards.
Well, yes, you are correct. I did get it for anniversary present, and it was something that I needed, but I wasn't really sure. So when I did get it and we actually sat down together, it was like I got hit in the face with the truth. I mean, you took everything that I was scared about, I had fear about, and you put it in a perspective of, hey, look, if you really want to get life, you need to focus on these things. And ever since I've been focused on these things, like everything had completely changed. So from your Millionaire Mentoring program, it's just helped me beyond what I pay on a monthly fee for it. So I'm just grateful for that.
Fantastic. Guys, what I would encourage you to do this, because I don't know what's brought you here today. Okay, this broadcast went out. It went out to my list. I went out to a number of other people's lists here that are currently on the panel. And you know, you could be a person that is in a state of transition. You could be in between jobs. You may have been laid off, downsized, cut back, given a pink slip and said, see you later. You could be a person that is sort of in between careers in a certain way. There's a lot of industries that are completely shrinking down to nothing, and a lot of people are finding themselves just without any work, right? Their particular field that they went into is just kind of going poof, right? Now what do? Right? They still have commitments to make. They still have a mortgage to pay, right? Now you could also be a person that is in either another company, right, that's looking for a way to get your own business, or you could be in between companies, okay? Now what I'm going to share with you is once you go through this training, you can be a top recruiter in any company, guys, okay? Because it will teach you how to become a top producer in anything, any company, right? How to build a team in any company, right? How to create mass influence in any company. Personally, I believe, okay, that it costs way too little for a person to get into a home-based business industry, okay? I believe that this should be mandatory certification training for every single person that gets into this industry. They should actually make it like that, like it's a regulated thing where you have to, just like nursing and doctors and dentists and lawyers and everybody else. This should be a certification process that people go through. Why do I say that? Results. Guys, I'm telling you, like I'm one of the stories. Like before, when I was in MLM and I didn't have this training, I only was making $4,000 a month. Now I have $4,000 days, right? The best day that I've had so far is $7,163 for the day, right? Which is almost 2 months worth of what I was doing previously before I got access to this training. So what I would encourage you to do is this. Throw your hat over the wall, okay? This isn't like you're going to get started and then, you know, a lot of companies, okay, we'll see you at the top, right? It doesn't work like that, okay? You have your own business, but you're not in business by yourself, okay? You've got your own business. You're your own CEO, okay? You're your CEO for your own business for yourself, okay? But you're not by yourself. We have hundreds and hundreds of people in our Millionaire Mentoring Program on Facebook. We're pretty much 24/7, guys. You can tune in. There'll be people from the UK, people from the Orient, where you can have a support system that will help you to get that liftoff that you really, truly desire. So throw your hat over the wall, click the link below. My name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada with the MLM Superheroes, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.